Hi, my name is Ev. Welcome to Buddy is in Charge. Today we are between Massy's estate and the Hellfire Club in the south of Dublin. So yet again we have a little map. So you'll have remembered where we were last time, which was over in Crua. And this is the Dublin Mountain Way. So today we are not actually going to hit that. Instead, we are going to go from here down to Massy's estate. We're going to go and have a look along by the river, which is the Owen Dower, down here and back up again. So we are parked on this side of the road. This is one of the most haunted houses in Ireland, allegedly. So some years ago they were doing renovations and they found the skeleton of a person with dwarfism under a fireplace. Originally this land used to belong to the Connolly family. It was then sold to a gentleman by the name of Luke White, and he was an MP for the Leitrim area. So this was when Ireland was under British rule, and he built a magnificent house here on the estate called Kilakee House, and we'll have a little bit more on that later, but we should be able to see some ruins and some garden features. So like so many places around Ireland, we have various different tombs and cairns. However, this is not one of them. This just looks like an ornamental wall that has broken down over time. But there is one somewhere in this forest. I'm not exactly sure where, but it's rather similar to the one we saw at Kilmashogue. We've also have quite a lot of horse riders through here too. So Buddy is on a lead, just in case. So going back onto the path again. So the loop here is about 1.5 kilometres, so just about a mile, maybe just over a mile. And we go a little bit further with some history. So when the Whites passed on this estate, it went to a nephew, and this was the 6th Baron Massy. And with him, he squandered an awful lot of the family money, and the house was built in 1806 and was demolished in the 1940s. So it wasn't really a very long time for the magnificent building to be lived in. And there are some really beautiful specimens of trees here that you might be able to see. And these were, again, they were planted like many other large houses, that people went overseas and got specimens of plants. This is quite an expansive building, much larger than a normal cottage. Just wanted to show you the ruins. It's more of the size of an industrial little building. Now I do believe I have found the mill, and that is over here. So just reverse and come down this way, back down towards the bridge we were just at. And because there is a mill in here, and this looks like a mill because that looks to me like a mill race. So the water would have come down here and they would have used wheels. So, yeah, nice little spot. There are features like this in the woodland. So we do know that there was a walled garden here. I presume that's what this area is. Although I do see signs down here. So we'll follow the signs. See where it takes us. As you can see, more horses have been around this area. And we're going down beside the Owendarra River at the moment. It just shows you the two signs. One is white and one is orange. There are some lovely little paths around here, but I'm just going to just show you. Now today I did not wear my hiking boots, I just wore my runners. I did ask a gentleman in the car park what the footing was like, and he said runners would be fine. So that's what we're using today. So far I would agree with him. So, oh, actually this is the ice house, if I remember correctly. Now, wait till you see an ice house. So in years gone by, they would store ice. And this is what an ice house looks like. Not sure whether you can see in. 1 second, we will try. Here, buds, out of there, out of there. So, yeah. So that is a pretty ancient, well, it's not that ancient to be honest with you. It would only be about the early 1800s. So, and then that's the back of it there. So it would have been like a storage chamber for cooling food. So, and it's right beside the river, as you can hear. One thing I'm not impressed with is the lack of marking of these trails. There are an awful lot of trails up and down, and I know I'm still in Massy's estate, but it is something that I would like to have a little bit more little signs, but it's okay. We're all doing good. We'll get out somehow. And I know I have not actually come up this way before with the previous dogs, so we can't be too far away from civilization. Although I've only met that young lady who was the runner who passed me by, and she's the only person I've met in here. So yeah, an interesting place. The original curbstones here along this avenue, and then also as we swing around to the old stone wall, we find drainage holes. I presume that's from the road. I don't know what else it could be, but there you go. As we take an amble, that's a good word, an amble up the main driveway, this is going towards the house itself, or what used to be the house. And just another little bit of history. There was a gentleman by the name of Carney, and he apparently was murdered in the house, or we could say maybe manslaughter, but it was during 1922, and Whereas those days there was an awful lot of protection money going on in the area. So it could have been reasons for that, but nobody knows the reason why he was killed. But yeah, another little bit of history to the area. So this is the site of Kilakee House. You can see where the wall is there, which would have been like a ha-ha. Because it's on private land, I really don't want to be going too close. But just to give you an idea of the elevated area. And there is a plinth over there, or a statue plinth. So these trees would have been original when the building was here. So just to give you an idea. But yeah, we'll go back into the forest again and let people have their privacy. So the Irish name is not Eistat Cuinach, in fact it is Quill na Cuinach, and that means the wood of the blind man. So we've actually parked the car in the Hellfire Club, and we're walking along this road at the moment, and it was laid out in 1806 and it's called the Military Road. It's very busy and dangerous. So as you can see, there's a lot of cars. But yeah, so the reason why the Military Road was laid out was because of the rebellion in 1798, and the British Army built this road to go from Dublin city up into the Wicklow Mountains. And there's a road nearby called Stockeen Lane, and that is where the last point for stocking up supplies was. So yeah, it has a bit of history. Goes right across the Wicklow Mountains. Stunning drive if you're ever in the area. And we're coming up now to the Hellfire Club car park. I will, of course, go up that hill. Maybe not today. I think we did the long route in Massy's estate. We went off a bit, pieced a little bit, but we managed to find a way back out. So yeah, but I just stay in close for this car. And another car. Told you it's busy. And so from one forest we go to the next. Now these are not on the Dublin Mountain Way, but as you can see, we've arrived at the Hellfire Club. So that's how close these two are. So this is where we're going to say goodbye to you for this time round. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again soon.